Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the all-new 2024 Land Rover Defender 130. This is the Outbound trim level. It's finished off in eager gray, and the MSRP is just over $84,000. We have a lot to go over for this luxury-focused and off-road oriented SUV. We are going to start off with what this is powered by. Underneath the hood, this has the 3-liter V6. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 395 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this 5,600-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds. Top speed is 119, and as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 16 miles per gallon in the city and 18 out on the highway. Now let's move on to some of the off-road focused technology or performance for this Defender. As far as ground clearance goes, you're looking at 11.5 inches in its off-road setting too, which the vehicle is currently set at. So of course you can lower it for an easy entry and exit. This has a 37.5 degree approach angle, 27.8 for the breakover angle, and then 28.5 for the departure angle. This is a very large vehicle. It has a long wheelbase, but it still has some off-road performance to it, which we will be testing. So check out that separate video to see how this does off the pavement. Now let's work our way to the exterior styling, where it has that unique Defender look to it. Defender is spelled out at the front of the hood there. And then this has a square design for the surround for the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. There's also LED fog lights down below. This has a forward-facing camera with all these sensors, really nice brushed accents running throughout the middle. And then there are a lot of cutouts to provide cooling to the engine and components up front. There's a large inlet there, one in the lower section of the gloss black, all of the grille mesh as well, and then right in the middle and where Land Rover is spelled out. Has a really cool design to it, definitely very unique compared to other vehicles. There's also the tread-like pattern on both sides of the hood and some nice bulges coming down the middle. Now as we work our way to the side, this has that adaptive suspension. It also has a set of 20-inch wheels wrapped in an all-terrain tire, so you can see have a little bit of tread on the side there to give you that added grip. And then there's also more gloss black for the fender arches. It's in the lower section of the door. It's even on the Defender trim piece there. It's on the side mirrors, which have the turn signal and a camera, and then the rest of the window trim accents are gloss black. Now there's roof racks up top. This can hold about 370 pounds on the roof, so you can put some camping equipment, a rooftop tent, any other accessories that you have with you for the day. And then there's even the Land Rover box right here. So you do have a key that you can insert, and once you twist on that, it will actually lock open. So that way you can put in any tools, any smaller items that you have, and then you can just close that again, twist it, and then push on it for it to lock. So really neat to see that. One thing that is interesting though, is that this back panel is not transparent. So you can't see in and you can't see out. But with it being a 3-row style vehicle, I think it has a good side design to it. In back, this has the full-size spare, cameras mounted up underneath, third brake light is up top, LED taillights are on both sides, there's all the parking sensors. This can tow right around 8,200 pounds as well. So a very practical SUV. Now we had that swing gate style for the rear, very easy to open even with that full-size spare. And surprisingly, this model does not have the third row. I think it's interesting because there's the sunroof with the sunshade. There's storage bins on both sides. There's even climate adjustments for your third row passengers, but this model doesn't have it. There's a little bit of storage at the front there, and then some spare tools in the back for the spare tire changes. There's also the cover that you can put in place and have to cover all of your items. There's a 3-prong outlet, a 12-volt, some dome lights, and then you can even raise and lower the rear end of this vehicle. So if you need it lower for a better load height, it's very easy to do, and there's storage on the inside of that swing gate too. Now over on the driver's side, this is how you can gain access to the roof. So you can lock and unlock this. With it unlocked, all you have to do is pull the ladder straight out, and then from there you can flip it down, and this will give you access to hop up to the roof. So you can quickly get any items that you have up there, and then you can fold this back in place and actually lock it, so that way no one can open that up. Now, as we work our way to the second row, or the back seats for this model, door panel has a pretty cool design with the exposed screws and all of this durable material that's going to be easy to clean, especially if it gets dirty, if you take this off-road or just in general. A little bit of storage down below. There's a release handle, Meridian audio for this model, and then the leather seats. Now, what is interesting, these seats do move forwards and backwards, and this is how you would gain access to the third row. So you could easily swing into the back, but this is where I mentioned there's storage behind both of these seats, and if you had to grab any items, you could do that. You'll notice too that the back of these seats had a very nice durable material, so when you have them down, you can slide in any items and it's not going to damage the leather because they put that durable backing there. Now, even with this at the off-road 2 setting, it's not all that hard to get into at 5'10". I have plenty of space. There's storage pockets, all of your climate adjustments, and some auxiliaries too. And then there's also the armrest with cup holders, and you can even fold down this middle seat if you have some longer items you need to put through. But it's very comfortable. I have 4 or 5 inches of headroom, so it's definitely great for the size. Very spacious. Now, the front door panel has all of your memory seating adjustments, window controls, more storage. All the materials are exactly the same. And then that goes for these front seats as well, which are automatic. And let's start this up. We have the leather steering wheel on the right side. It is heated as well. There's all the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. Really nice design for the spokes down below. And then on this left side, there's voice commands, tuning, there's Bluetooth, favorites, you have driver assistance. Then you can also push the square in the middle, and now we have arrows that we can use to go through the digital gauge cluster. Where on the left side, there's miles per hour and the fuel level. Right side is tach and engine temperature. And then if we go back into using those controls, there's the info panel. So you can go through some general information, just depending on what you would like to see. And then if I go back, you can actually go into the display layout and change how you would like to see it. So that's the 2 dial. This is the 1 dial. If I go back into that, we can also go into the right panel info. So you can scroll through that left side or right side, depending on how you'd like to see it. You can pull the map up and full screen, and then you can also get into your media and your driver assistance. So pretty cool, just depending on what you would like to see. There's also your heads-up display, trip selection, and vehicle settings that you can go into. Not a ton of info, but it is nice how configurable it is. E-brake is on this left side. There's also storage on the driver's side. Head-up display shows miles per hour and the speed limit sign, and there's more of that durable material that runs across the entire dash. Now, for the infotainment system, this is the home screen where there's some wheel info. If you click on that, you can monitor all this information, including your pitch and roll, your altitude, center and rear locking differentials. You can get into wade sensing. So for driving this through water, this is the sensor to show you how deep you can actually go. And there's a few other settings that you can monitor too. There's also the wade sensing here that I just showed, energy impact. You can go to your compass, and then you have a few others that you can pull up here. There's also shortcuts to the navigation, phone, and audio on that left side. And you can even get into the camera system where you have several angles. You even have a few for the front and rear that you can pull up, and you can get back to that 3D view. You can get to an off-road setting, as well as towing too. Now underneath that, we have the gear selector. So with it in reverse, backup camera pops up, of course. There's drive, and then the manual setting that you can use. And then park is located on the top. There's power and volume for the audio. And then within the middle, there's a downhill assist control, engine start stop. This is how you can adjust the height of the vehicle. So it's currently all the way in the highest position. Then you can go all the way down to the entry and exit. There's traction control, a low range setting, and then with both of the rotary dials, currently you can see it's on temperature, so you can quickly do that. If you push on it, now we can gain access to the heated and ventilated seat adjustments. So by turning it to the left, there's your ventilated seats. And then if I push on the lower section, now we have the fan speed, so that dial turns into that. And then the upper one is for the various drive modes. So there are quite a few that you can go through, just depending on what you're doing with the vehicle for the day. If I unclick on that, it pops up with the temperature again. Now there's some auxiliaries down below, along with a lot of hidden storage, 2 cup holders, wireless charging, and this model has the refrigerator in the middle. So there's 2 different settings that you can use depending on what items you need to keep chill. Tons of storage on the passenger side with an auxiliary, and then even more storage in the glove box down below. Now this is the digital rear view mirror. With it down, you can see that spare tire, but you can still see around it. Obviously this is going to give you some more visibility. And then we have the controls for the sunroof and the sunshade. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that back section is not transparent, so that is a bit of a blind spot. Very interesting to see that, but I guess with the box and the ladder on both sides, they just wanted to hide those from the inside. You still have a good bit of visibility though. It's a large vehicle, so you can easily see all around. And in second gear, here we go. And just like that, we're up to speed. So pretty quick, larger size SUV, but this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Land Rover Defender. Like I said, I think this is a really cool interior. I think all the materials are very nice. You definitely sit high up, so it feels like you're in a pickup truck or, you know, another larger SUV. It's definitely something that is high feeling, and of course it can go higher if you raise it up a little bit. But seating position is super comfortable. We have the armrest along with the cooler. It's odd that this is blank here, or it goes all the way through to the bottom. So there's not a lot of usable storage here. You can use the cup holders like I am right now. You can place your phone here, but if you want to place just something right there, it's gonna go all the way down to the bottom. So it's a little bit hidden out of the way there. But other than that, very, very nice. I haven't had any real complaints with it. Driving it, everything seems to work fine. Everything's very functional. We have the head-up display, which is nice to see. And as far as its handling goes, we got a few twisties right here that we can test it. It's not bad for the weight of this. It carries its weight well. So if we're just taking some turns like this at a normal rate of speed, we don't have any sport mode or anything to stiffen up the suspension, but it does great. Nothing too hard of a turn, but for those I didn't have to slow down. It basically, it's like you're riding on a cloud. That adaptive suspension gives you a very, very comfortable ride, as well as being able to adjust the height depending on what you are doing. And then obviously we have the camera system there. Without it, you can still see above that full-size spare, so it doesn't really hinder. And then obviously, you know, you can't see that way, but you have your side mirrors too, and then you really don't need to see out that way since you have the window there. A little bit of blockage from that ladder, but I mean, it's still got a lot of glass. And then as we merge back out into traffic, we got that power to get us back up and moving. But I think that's going to wrap it up for the Land Rover Defender 130. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.